The newcomer clearly wasn't here for a friendly chat. It was Shang Bin, grandson of Academy Elder Shang Chen. Beside him stood Shen Biju, widely recognized as the Academy's #1 beauty. Beauties always attracted trouble, and the original owner of Zhang Xuan's current body had suffered plenty of scorn from this young master, all because they were love rivals. Zhang Xuan lifted an eyelid. "My friend, were you by any chance using the word trash to address me just now?" Shang Bin, nose in the air, scoffed. "Calling you trash? What's wrong with that?" To his surprise, Zhang Xuan put on an "ah, so that's it" expression and even fanned his nose dramatically. "Oh, so it is trash talking to me. No wonder it stinks." Shang Bin was about to explode with rage. "You dare call me trash?" Beside them, Shen Biju couldn't help but let out a soft chuckle. The campus belle's smile made Shang Bin forcibly cool himself down. "Poise, poise!" He cleared his throat and redirected his fire. "Was I wrong? This fatty, I saw him earlier, dead last in the entrance exam. Tsk, tsk." Shang Bin's face screamed, "Come look at this joke!" The worst teacher paired with the worst student. A perfect match. Ha ha ha! These words struck Yuan Tao like a bolt from the blue, leaving him utterly devastated. Teacher. Dead last? What kind of master did I just acknowledge? My life is hopeless. Zhang Xuan, however, acted as if nothing was wrong, casually cleaning his ear. All done? If you're finished, you can smoothly, get lost. You. Shang Bin felt like he'd punched cotton, so frustrating. He turned to Shen Biju, his voice instantly softening several octaves. "Teacher Biju, let's go. Spending too much time with such a low-class fellow will tarnish your ethereal aura." However, as Shen Biju passed Zhang Xuan, she paused and said gently, "Teacher Zhang, although your results in the last teacher qualification exam weren't ideal, please don't give up on yourself. Keep working hard, and you'll surely improve." Zhang Xuan nearly rolled his eyes. "So, taking on Yuan Tao means I've given up on myself?" He forced a professional-looking smile. "Thank you for your kind words, Teacher Shen. However, this student might just be an unpolished jade. With careful guidance, he might yet shine brightly." Seeing him like this, Shen Biju didn't press further, merely nodding before walking away. Shang Bin was about to eagerly follow, but Shen Biju, without looking back, said, "Teacher Shang, I'm a bit tired today and wish to rest early. I won't trouble you to see me off." Watching his chance for some alone time with his goddess evaporate, Shang Bin blamed it all on Zhang Xuan, viciously spitting out, "Zhang Xuan, you just wait. I, Shang Bin, am not done with you." Zhang Xuan lazily spread his hands. "I'll be waiting. Don't let the door hit you on the way out." Meanwhile, Yuan Tao had planned to take advantage of Shang Bin's outburst to grease his soles and slip away. Who knew that Zhang Xuan's eerily calm voice would float from behind him? "Student, where do you think you're going? My classroom isn't in that direction, you know." Yuan Tao froze, then turned around with an embarrassed smile. "Teacher Zhang, you see my aptitude? It's really too poor. Being your student, I'm afraid I'll tarnish your good name. How about you just let me go?" He finished by forcing an "I'm being very considerate" expression. Zhang Xuan suddenly reached out and grabbed Yuan Tao's wrist, his gaze unusually serious, making Yuan Tao's hair stand on end. Don't panic, Zhang Xuan said earnestly. "A teacher for a day is a father for life. A student for a day means you're mine in life and mine in death. Ahem, my research subject. With that ancient bloodline of yours, even if you unfortunately kick the bucket someday, I'll have to dig you up for a thorough study." Night fell. Zhang Xuan sat cross-legged on his bed, counting on his fingers. 5 students, all accounted for. Classes would officially start tomorrow. He absolutely had to sort out his cultivation tonight. He opened the cultivation technique manual left behind by the original owner. Written on it in flamboyant calligraphy was Hongtian Heavy Art. This thing was a dime a dozen in Hongtian Academy, with practitioners as numerous as hairs on an ox. Yet, looking across the entire academy, it seemed he was the only one still stuck at Warrior Level 3. Zhang Xuan's mouth twitched. Nope, gotta get my act together. As the teacher with the worst combat prowess in the entire academy, if his cultivation didn't improve, how was he supposed to establish a glorious image in front of his students tomorrow? Was he going to demonstrate how to lie down and play dead? But this Hongtian heavy art, if practiced conventionally, would take 3 to 5 years to achieve a breakthrough. Classes were tomorrow. His eyebrows were on fire. The thought of his students finding out their teacher was a complete weakling. The mental image was too horrifying to contemplate. He had to find a way. The Heavenly Path Library could identify flaws in cultivation techniques, but the problem was the errors were as dense as the starry sky, and it couldn't automatically patch them. What was he supposed to do? An idea flashed in Zhang Xuan's mind, like a 100-watt bulb lighting up in the dark. If I scan different cultivation techniques and use their respective correct parts to fill in the gaps in each other, hey, that might just work. No sooner said than done. His target was clear, the Academy's Compendium Pavilion. At the entrance of the Compendium Pavilion, an old man sat cross-legged. It was the guardian, Elder Mo. Seeing Zhang Xuan arrive so late at night, Elder Mo was somewhat puzzled. Zhang Xuan, with a perfectly serious face, spouted utter nonsense. This junior is untalented and currently attempting to break through to Warrior Level 3. Alas, my knowledge is shallow and I've encountered some confusion, so I've come to the Compendium Pavilion seeking guidance. Hearing this, Elder Mo felt greatly comforted, his face blooming into a smile. Excellent, excellent! This young man is teachable, still studying so diligently this late at night. With that, he thoughtfully pointed Zhang Xuan towards the location of Warrior Level 3 cultivation manuals. Watching Zhang Xuan enter the Compendium Pavilion, Elder Mo let out a soft sigh. Sigh. This child is good in every way except for his talent. Tsk. It's hard to put into words. I hope he doesn't end up last again in the next teacher qualification exam. Meanwhile, Zhang Xuan stepped into the Compendium Pavilion and was instantly stunned by the sight before him. My goodness gracious, so many books. It's practically a mountain, an ocean of books. He expertly navigated to the cultivation technique section and casually picked up a manual. As the pages flipped, the Heavenly Path Library in his mind operated in sync, swish, 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 rapidly recording the contents. After flipping through several manuals, Zhang Xuan's frown deepened. The error rate in these techniques was more than a notch higher than his own Hongtian heavy art. No wonder the Hongtian heavy art was so popular. It turned out it was just the least rotten apple in a barrel of even worse ones. Trying to find a needle in this haystack of errors to piece together the correct cultivation method, wouldn't that exhaust his frail little body to death? Wait a minute! Zhang Xuan's brain suddenly clicked. Since I'm about to break through to Warrior Level 3 anyway, why wrestle with entire cultivation techniques? I just need to get the chapter on the breakthrough sorted out. At this thought, Zhang Xuan's eyes lit up. The Heavenly Path Library only highlighted errors, but he could draw on the strengths of many. By piecing together the correct descriptions for breaking through to the third realm from several other techniques, wouldn't he be able to forge a golden path forward? Not only that, but by following the same pattern, couldn't he also get a head start on the techniques for the fourth and fifth realms? Zhang Xuan immediately transformed into a human scanner, darting between the bookshelves. The Heavenly Path Library was incredibly efficient. Wherever his gaze landed, the page's content was automatically recorded. The efficiency was top-notch. However, The unusual rustle-rustle sound of pages flipping rapidly reached Elder Mo outside, causing his brows to furrow deeply. And I thought he was genuinely here to study diligently. Turns out he's just being perfunctory and putting on an act. Elder Mo's impression of Zhang Xuan plummeted. Zhang Xuan was completely oblivious to this, happily immersed in the ocean of knowledge. Soon he had scanned all the relevant cultivation techniques. Satisfied, he clapped his hands, ready to head back. "Hey!" Elder Mo suddenly called out to him, his tone unfriendly. "Finished clearing up your confusion already? Not even going to. Copy a manual to take back and study carefully?" Zhang Xuan merely assumed Elder Mo was showing routine concern and waved his hand dismissively. "Oh, it's not a big deal. I've memorized it all. No need to copy." Little did he know that Elder Mo had already silently slapped him with the labels ignorant and incompetent and grandstanding charlatan. Gazing at Zhang Xuan's nonchalantly departing figure, Elder Mo fumed, his beard bristling. "Outrageous! Simply outrageous! It seems I must have a good talk with the headmaster and rectify this unhealthy trend among the teaching staff." Late at night, Zhang Xuan returned to his dormitory, only to face a bittersweet dilemma. The Heavenly Path Library had indeed recorded all the cultivation techniques he'd looked at, but with hundreds, even thousands of them, comparing and filtering them one by one. When in a blue moon would he ever finish? Just as he was racking his brains, a sudden boom resounded in his mind, and his consciousness was instantly pulled into the Heavenly Path Library by a mysterious force. Immediately after, hundreds upon thousands of books rained down like dumplings from the sky, hovering all around him. Zhang Xuan took a closer look. "Whoa, aren't these all the cultivation technique manuals I just scanned in the compendium pavilion?" The next second, as if drawn by an invisible summons, all these books converged, uniformly towards the top of his head. A brilliant golden light flashed, so blinding he could barely open his eyes. When the light dissipated, a book, entirely golden and radiating an "I'm totally awesome" aura, floated silently in midair before slowly descending into Zhang Xuan's hands. Zhang Xuan curiously opened the book. Just one glance, and he was completely dumbfounded. This. Has it condensed the essence of those hundreds of manuals into one? And there isn't a single mistake, it's all correct. This mysterious library in his mind actually had such a slick move. It could automatically merge cultivation techniques, discard the dross and select the essence, generating a perfect, flawless, supreme manual. Looking at the cultivation methods. Within, they were simply unheard of, unseen before, even more profound than all the divine techniques from every fantasy novel he'd ever read combined. Zhang Xuan glanced at the cover again. Such an incredibly imposing book. And it didn't even have a name? Was it waiting for him, the chosen one, to bestow one upon it? He stroked his chin, pondering. Since it's a correct manual compiled by the Heavenly Path Library, drawing on the strengths of hundreds of sources, why not call it Heavenly Path Divine Art? The moment the thought formed, the four flamboyant characters for Heavenly Path Divine Art actually materialized on the golden cover. Simply divine. However, even more dumbfounding things were yet to come. When he tried to cultivate according to the method recorded in the Heavenly Path Divine Art, a miracle occurred. The usual feeling of struggling arduously and making painstaking effort during cultivation completely vanished. His whole body felt as if it were soaking in a top-tier spiritual qi spa, so comfortable he wanted to hum. Spiritual qi from all directions, like wild horses on steroids, surged into his dantian, converging like 100 rivers flowing into the... The spiritual qi gathered more and more, until finally his entire qi sea let out a loud boom, as if some barrier had shattered. Broke through, just like that? Zhang Xuan himself found it a little hard to believe. Others toiled through the difficult skin refining and bone forging stages for 3 to 5 years just to make any progress. But him, in just half a night, he shot up like a rocket going BU. From Warrior Level 3 straight to the peak of Warrior Level 5, Dingley Realm. Inspecting himself internally again and feeling the golden spiritual chi flowing through his body, Zhang Xuan's jaw nearly hit the floor. Isn't this the legendary highest grade true chi? Zhang Xuan's mind was a bit fuzzy. Didn't they say, you needed at least a Saint-tier or even God-tier cultivation technique to cultivate highest grade true chi? God-tier techniques were existences at the very pinnacle of the pyramid. The quality of one's true chi directly determined one's future martial path achievements. Could it be that the Heavenly Path Library is so overpowered that it directly bypassed all cultivation pitfalls, allowing him to achieve this in one go and condense the most supreme grade true chi? Thinking of this, Zhang Xuan's eyes shone like he'd discovered a new continent. Doesn't that mean he could casually write out a Saint-tier, or even a God-tier cultivation technique, something that would make every cultivator on the continent's jaw drop if he took it out? He was now itching to test out just how formidable he had become. He dashed a few steps to the strength testing stone outside his dormitory, took a deep breath, and his gaze sharpened abruptly. He squatted slightly, slowly raising his right palm in front of him as a majestic power gathered in. Ha! His arm shot out like an arrow loosed from a bow, striking the strength testing stone solidly. The next second, the strength testing stone flashed, and 2 dazzling large characters appeared. 8 ding! For real. Zhang Xuan was so shocked by the power of his own palm strike that his eyeballs almost popped out. 1 ding of strength is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms, so 8 ding is 8,000 kilograms. This power is already comparable to those acupoint opening realm experts who have opened 4 acupoints. He looked down at his palm, overwhelmed with emotion. Heavenly path. Divine art, truly terrifying. However, to avoid unnecessary trouble and potential covetous eyes, he decided to keep this meteoric rise in cultivation hidden unless absolutely necessary. Low profile. Keeping a low profile was the way to go. Just then, the sound of extremely faint footsteps reached his ears. Zhang Xuan raised an eyebrow. So late at night, who would be sneaking around the teacher's dormitory area? He silently crept over to investigate. And indeed, he discovered a dark figure furtively hiding in a corner. In the middle of the night, carrying a knife, strolling towards the teacher's dorms. Definitely not up to any good. Zhang Xuan's mind raced. 10 to 1 they were here for him. He hastily fumbled to take off his teacher's uniform. But even that slight movement alerted the other party. Who's there? The black-clothed person whirled around, their voice low and deep. Crap! I've been spotted. Zhang Xuan, thinking quickly, used the clothes he'd just taken off to cover his face, lowered his voice, and pulled a reverse Uno. Friend, don't misunderstand. I'm here to kill that trash Zhang Xuan. And you? Which crew are you with? This completely threw the black-clothed person off. There's another one? A colleague? The black-clothed person paused, then said, Then you do it. I'll keep watch for you here. Zhang Xuan's heart skipped a beat. This isn't how the script is supposed to go. His eyes darted around as he continued his bluff. What about you then? Aren't you also here to kill him? Me? The black-clothed person snorted coldly, brandishing the short knife in their hand. Killing him would be too easy on him. I just want to teach him a lesson, and while I'm at it, snip off his thingamajig and let him live a pure and ascetic life as a eunuch. Hearing this, Zhang Xuan felt a chill run down his groin and instinctively covered his little brother. Holy mother of pearl, if I hadn't had the sudden whim to cultivate tonight and had just gone to sleep, the consequences would have been too gruesome to imagine. The black-clothed person said gravely, "Then let's go over together. We can watch each other's backs." Zhang Xuan cursed inwardly. This guy is pretty cautious. Things having come to this, he could only bite the bullet and agree, "All right, your call." He pushed off hard with his feet, his figure flashing like a phantom to the black-clothed person's side. The black-clothed person's vision blurred for a moment, and they were slightly alarmed. Such fast movement skills. They discreetly sized up. Zhang Xuan and advised, "Your cultivation is not weak, Your Excellency. Be sure to circulate your ki for lightness, and don't alert the target." Saying this, they took the lead in circulating their own cultivation technique, their aura flaring, clearly preparing to strike. However, they didn't know that the moment they began circulating their technique, the Heavenly Path library in Zhang Xuan's mind had already dinged, automatically generating a book of information about them. Zhang Xuan glanced at the name on the book's cover. It felt a little familiar, like he'd heard it somewhere before. He flipped open the book and saw a detailed record. Yao Han, butler of the White Jade City Lord's Manor, warrior level 6, acupoint opening realm, early stage, 8 acupoints opened. Reading. This, a question mark slowly formed above Zhang Xuan's head. Yao Han? Isn't that young Mistress Jiaoya's butler? I have no beef with this guy. So why is he here looking for trouble with me? And he wants to give me a physical castration? Fury instantly surged through Zhang Xuan. If I don't beat you until you're calling me daddy today, then my name isn't Zhang Xuan. However, in a head-on fight, his own peak level 5 against an early level 6 acupoint opening realm cultivator didn't offer great odds. But hey, he had a cheat. Knowing all his opponent's weaknesses, he could toy with him however he pleased. Zhang Xuan's gaze fell upon the page detailing Yao Han's vital points. When he saw the words vital point located in the center of the buttocks, he couldn't hold back a pfft and a snicker. He he he, he 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 he. What are you laughing at? Yao Han heard the noise behind him and turned around, puzzled. Zhang Xuan quickly wiped the smile off his face and spouted some serious-sounding nonsense. Nothing. Just thinking about how I'm about to sort out that Zhang Xuan brat. Got a little excited, you know. Then he suddenly pointed towards the night sky behind Yao Han and yelled dramatically, "Quick, look! A UFO!" Yao Han instinctively looked in, the direction Zhang Xuan pointed. Huh? UFO? What on earth is that? The instant Yao Han turned his head, a glint flashed in Zhang Xuan's eyes. His figure shot forward as he muttered, "Don't worry. You'll soon find out what kind of good stuff it is." Before his words even faded, he had ghosted behind Yao Han, a no-more kid's kick of doom, infused with 8 ding of force and whistling like thunder, landed with pinpoint accuracy on Yao Han's mission-critical gluteal vital point. Bang! Yao Han felt an irresistible colossal force slam into his rear, as if he'd been rammed by a charging rhinoceros. His eyes instantly rolled back, a mouthful of old blood sprayed out, and his entire body flew backward like a stringless kite, crashing heavily into the courtyard wall with a loud thud, sending dust flying everywhere. At this moment, Yao Han was seeing stars. The world was spinning, and he felt like every bone in his body was about to fall apart. He had absolutely no fighting strength left. Zhang Xuan sauntered over, looking down at the boneless heap that was Yao Han, and pursed his lips. "What acupoint opening realm expert? Weren't you so high and mighty? Find your vital point and you still go down in one hit. All show and no go." Yao Han clutched his agonizingly painful backside, his face a mask of fury and bewilderment, his voice cracking. You said we were going to deal with Zhang Xuan together. Why did you attack me?" Hearing this, Zhang Xuan's anger flared. Even hotter. Still thinking about dealing with Zhang Xuan together? I am Zhang Xuan, you moron. What's the situation? Seeing the murderous intent in the other party's stance, Yao Han's heart trembled with a bad premonition. What else are you planning to do? Following that, a series of blood-curdling, utterly heart-rending wails echoed. They were accompanied by the sickening thuds of fists hitting flesh. The sounds came from the small courtyard of the teacher's dormitory. In the silent night, they sounded particularly eerie. Only after a thoroughly satisfying, friendly exchange did Zhang Xuan feel a significant amount of relief. Yao Han, already beaten beyond recognition and swollen like a pig's head, was mentally cursing up a storm. Damn it all! Even street thugs have more honor when they fight. What happened to being a level 5 expert? Where are your martial skills, your cultivation technique? All you did was flail wildly, aiming for my face, poking my eyes, grabbing my crotch, and bending my fingers. You call this a spar? This is one-sided abuse. Seeing the "I'm not convinced, and I'll be back" expression written all over Yao Han's face, Zhang Xuan knew this feud was well and truly established. He had to think of a way to divert suspicion from himself. Just then, an idea flashed in his mind. He thought of the arrogant Shangbin from earlier in the day, and a plan formed. He cleared his throat and said to Yao Han in a tone that was both annoyed and slightly boastful, "Sigh, it's all my fault, really. I was so infuriated by that Zhang Xuan during the day, I was planning to properly make him suffer tonight. You were also here to teach him a lesson, so we were on the same path." Zhang Xuan paused, feigning an accidental slip of the tongue, and slapped his thigh. "Oh dear, I almost forgot. If you really did castrate him, then Teacher Shen, Biju, she'd definitely think I was the one who did it. After all, both that Zhang Xuan brat and I are, well, you know." He deliberately trailed off, leaving an ocean of possibilities for Yao Han to imagine. "So, you see," Zhang Xuan concluded with an expression of deep anguish, "you can only blame yourself for showing up at the wrong time and running straight into my line of fire." Although Yao Han had been beaten senseless, his brain wasn't completely addled. He frowned slightly. He had keenly picked up on the man's momentary change of words and the name Shen Biju. Seeing that his objective had been achieved, Zhang Xuan barked, "Now scram! Or are you planning to stick around for a midnight snack?" As if granted amnesty, Yao Han scrambled to his feet and limped away, disappearing into the night. He silently calculated. First, this mysterious person had a run-in with Zhang Xuan today. Second, he and Zhang Xuan are probably love rivals. Third, the woman he's pursuing has Biju in her name. Based on all this, the target is Shangbin. Only after Yao Han's figure had completely vanished did Zhang Xuan finally breathe a sigh of relief. He removed the cloth covering his face, revealing his true features. He patted his chest, still shaken. If he hadn't had that sudden whim to cultivate and break through tonight, who knew what might have happened? At the same time, he profoundly realized that in this world where the strong preyed on the weak, strength was the only true guarantee of one's safety and livelihood. Before long, a faint light appeared in the sky, signaling the approach of dawn. Zhang Xuan arrived at the classroom, ready to begin his first lesson since transmigrating. Looking around, he saw only 4 sparsely seated individuals. "Is Zhao Ya not here today?" Zhang Xuan muttered, not overly concerned. "Forget it. We won't wait. Class, let's begin." He cleared his throat and said with a serious expression, "My teaching methods are different from other teachers. I focus on teaching according to aptitude, providing personalized guidance. So I will now go into the small room next door. When I call your name, you will come in, one by one." With that, his gaze swept over them, and he called out, "Wang Ying, you are my first student. Let's start with you. Come in first." Hearing Zhang Xuan call her name, Wang Ying hesitated. After returning home yesterday, she had specifically inquired, about him and discovered that this teacher Zhang had an absolutely notorious reputation in the academy, plastered with labels like trash and scammer. She secretly resolved to immediately, instantly, and without hesitation, drop this godforsaken class the moment she entered the room. This teacher Zhang certainly didn't follow convention, calling a student into a small, dark room on the very first day of teaching. Who knew what tricks he had up his sleeve? Wang Ying took a deep breath, pushed open the door to the small room, and was just about to utter the words, "Teacher, I want to drop the class." But she saw Zhang Xuan already in a stance, beckoning to her with an unquestionable tone. "Come, face me, hit me with your strongest punch. Let this teacher see your strength and foundation." Wang Ying was a bit stunned. Hit him here? Is that all right? Little did she know that the moment she executed a martial skill, the Heavenly Path library in Zhang Xuan's mind would go into overdrive, automatically generating an instruction manual about her. The instant she threw a punch, half believing and half doubting, Zhang Xuan's Wang Ying exclusive manual was already complete in his mind. He quickly scanned its contents. Your strength is decent, and your foundation is fairly solid. Zhang Xuan nodded, evaluating her with the air of a seasoned master. Although she received praise, Wang Ying hadn't forgotten her original intention. She mustered her courage. "Teacher, I want to—" Before she could finish, Zhang Xuan suddenly interrupted her, his tone firm. "If I'm not mistaken, your left leg suffered an internal injury during a battle 2 years ago, correct? And this injury seems to have been troubling you ever since, causing your cultivation to stagnate." A tidal wave crashed through Wang Ying's heart. Her small mouth fell open wide enough to fit an egg. "Teacher, how could teacher possibly know the cause of my injury and the specific time it happened? This is simply divine." Just then, Zhang Xuan began his perfectly serious performance. He spouted a mixture of traditional Chinese medicine theories, knowledge of meridians, acupoints, and qi circulation he'd picked up online in his previous life, embellishing it with half-truths. Things like qi stagnation and blood stasis, damaged meridians, and requires special techniques to guide true qi for complete recovery, and so on. Wang Ying, standing beside him, was completely bamboozled, her expression slowly morphing from initial suspicion to shock and then to admiration. She recalled that an elder in her family had once invited a highly respected physician to examine her. That physician had also asserted that her leg injury was no small matter, and unless a supreme expert possessing highest-grade true qi intervened, it would be extremely difficult to cure. Thus, with a sliver of hope, she asked weakly, Then, teacher, can you cure me?" Who knew Zhang Xuan would just offer a light, breezy smile and wave his hand dismissively. A trivial matter, hardly worth mentioning. Trivial? Hearing those words, Wang Ying's eyeballs nearly popped out. This stubborn injury that had plagued her for 2 years and could potentially affect her entire martial arts future was, in her teacher's words, merely a trivial matter. But then, looking at his calm, composed, and confident demeanor, she couldn't help but waver. Could it be that this teacher Zhang, rumored to be utterly worthless, is actually a peerless master in disguise? All right, sit on that. Stool over there. Zhang Xuan pointed to a nearby wooden stool and smiled. Relax completely. Don't be nervous. At this moment, although Wang Ying still harbored doubts, what filled her more was the desperate hope of someone clutching at straws. She nodded and obediently sat down. Zhang Xuan produced a long, thin silver needle from his robes. He gently twirled it between his index and middle fingers, and a wisp of incomparably pure golden true qi silently adhered to the needle's tip. Then, with a flick of his wrist, the silver needle shot out like an almost imperceptible streak of lightning. Shoo! It unerringly and with perfect precision pierced an acupoint on Wang Ying's leg. This void needle technique alone was enough to send shivers down Wang Ying's spine. This requires at least the cultivation of a warrior level 5. Dingley. Realm expert to achieve. Could it be that this supposedly worthless trash teacher in the academy actually possessed the strength of a level 5 Dingley realm expert? The contrast was just too immense. While she was still reeling from the shock, Zhang Xuan flicked his fingers again. With a few soft swish, swish, swish sounds, several more silver needles flew out as if they had eyes, consecutively and faultlessly piercing several key acupoints around her leg. Following that, he extended his right hand, fingers slightly spread. Several visible golden threads of true qi extended from his fingertips, connecting to the ends of those silver needles. As Zhang Xuan slowly infused his true qi, Wang Ying felt a warm current flow into her body through the needles. Her injured left leg first experienced an indescribable sour numbness, followed by an unprecedented feeling of comfort and lightness. She could clearly feel that the true qi her teacher was channeling into her body was pure to an unbelievable degree, gentle, yet domineering. Wherever it passed, her blocked meridians seemed to be cleared by an invisible force. Could this be the legendary highest-grade true qi? Another colossal wave of shock crashed through Wang Ying's heart. One had to understand, this quality of true qi, let alone in Hongtian Academy, even looking across the entire Tianshuan kingdom, no one had ever been heard of being able to cultivate it. And this teacher Zhang, who everyone treated as a laughingstock, actually, while she was still immersed in her profound shock, unable to recover, Zhang Xuan had already finished the treatment. With a beckoning gesture, all the silver needles flew back into his hand with a swoosh. "All right, get up and move around. See how it feels," Zhang Xuan said calmly. Wang Ying cautiously stood up, tentatively took a few steps, then tried kicking her leg and jumping a little. The long-lost feeling of lightness and strength brought tears of excitement to her eyes. Her leg. It was really healed, and it felt even better than before the injury. She had never dreamed that this stubborn ailment that had plagued her for 2 years would one day be completely cured. The next moment, Wang Ying could no longer control the overwhelming excitement and gratitude in her heart. Her knees buckled, and with a plop she knelt on the ground, cupping her fists towards Zhang Xuan. "Thank you, teacher, for this gift of rebirth. Student Wang Ying will never forget your kindness for as long as I live." Zhang Xuan merely waved his hand casually and smiled. "A trivial matter. No need to be so formal. Since your leg injury is healed, go back and cultivate diligently. Don't let your talent go to waste." Meanwhile, Liu Yang, Yuan Tao, and Zheng Yang, who were waiting outside the small room, had no idea about the earth-shattering changes that had just occurred inside. At that moment, Liu Yang was passionately trying to persuade the other two to drop the class with him. "I'm telling you guys, you know what kind of character that Zhang Xuan is. The laughingstock of the entire academy. What can we possibly learn from him? We'll probably learn how to go into key deviation. In my opinion, we should all drop his class. Together, finding another renowned teacher is the proper path." Yuan Tao's chubby face twitched. Although he also really wanted to join Liu Yang in dropping the class, the thought of Zhang Xuan's words from yesterday, "mine in life, and my research subject in death," and that serious look in his eyes, made him shiver. He was genuinely worried he'd end up being researched by this unconventional teacher. However, Liu Yang was dismissive, pouting. "What's there to be afraid of? At worst, he'll scold us a bit. That's still better than wasting time with him or even crippling ourselves in the process."